paperweights and paintings of battle scenes and brooding skies. He certainly wasn't interested in pretty things. Just the thought of him using lilac stationery is ludicrous. It wasn't even well hidden. Yes, it was locked, but I could have asked him what was in it any time I liked. Of course I could. But instead, he chose to hide the key, and I chose not to be interested. It occurs to me that these are exactly the sort of things I was expecting to find, and my throat tightens. All of a sudden, I'm undecided. Maybe today isn't the day to be looking after all. I close the drawer with a bang that disturbs the air around me, and the scent of the lilies, orchids, and roses that have been arriving all week invade from the hallway and living room. Carol sent most of them. She said it added a certain drama to the occasion, but despite me suggesting I had quite enough of that going on, the flowers kept arriving. I stand now against protesting hips and pause to allow the pins and needles to stop and for a moment of dizziness to pass. My head is still a little fuzzy from the sherry I had at the wake, and I wait with one hand on the wall, taking in the deep lines and liver spots, how dry my skin is. I make my way slowly to the kitchen, my hand brushing the wallpaper as I go, the flock soft under my fingertips, the sturdy wall only a whisker away in case of a fall. I contemplate another drink. I quite like the haze, but that really won't do. Instead, I fill the kettle, then pour some away, take 2 cups from the cupboard, and put one back. Silly old Evelyn Pringle. Taking my tea into the living room, I sit on the settee, change my mind and settle in the armchair. Tony's armchair. I'd like to feel the weight of a cat on my lap, or perhaps he could be curled up on the rug in front of the gas fire. I had wanted a real fire in a stove with a proper crackle and an occasional roar, but Tony wouldn't have it. He wouldn't have a cat either. He was allergic to their fur, although I glimpsed him once through the kitchen window, stroking next door's tabby as it rolled around in a patch of sun on our driveway. I'd watched him when he came back in for signs of a rash or a sneezing fit, but there had been none. Perhaps his allergy came and went as often as he did himself. As soon as I woke this morning, I imagined myself going through Tony's things. I thought about it at the hairdresser's, while the girl tried to curl my straight white hair, and when I made up my face and wrestled myself into my black wool dress, and again when Carol arrived with her husband to take control of the day. I was still thinking about it when Tony's coffin disappeared behind the curtain. While I should have been focused on the enormity of never seeing him again, never sharing another meal, a conversation, a bed with the man I'd been married to for 58 years, I'd actually been imagining myself coming home, kicking off my shoes, and walking straight into his study to rifle through his possessions. With good reason, it would seem. The crematorium had been stuffed to the rafters. All of Tony's golf chaps had been there, the Rotary Club lot and the self-named Bookbusters. Ridiculous title. Tony had led the campaign to save the local library from closing a few years ago. An odd undertaking for a man who barely picked up a novel. He liked a cause, though. Well, he liked a cause outside of this house. All those people and their husbands and wives was too much for me. I kept to the shadows, my heart keeping up a relentless thrumming, my breath hot and fast in my throat. I'd let Carol meet and greet, make sure there were enough sandwiches at the wake. It was impossible to miss the tributes murmured from group to group, though. Tony was well liked. He was a super golfer, the best person to find for a pint on the 19th hole, had done so much for the community, a wonderful problem solver. I should have felt so proud, but, to be honest, I'd lost touch with who they were talking about. I sipped my tea, still thinking about sherry, and what would it matter if I did have another drink.